Hello history buffs and welcome back to the channel. On this day in history, the 27th of September 1501, 15-year-old Infanta Catalina, or as she's better known as Catherine of Aragon, set sail from Spain at 5 p.m. to England to marry the heir to the English throne, Arthur Tudor, Prince of Wales. Catalina, or Catherine, was born on the 16th of December 1485 at the palace of the Bishop of Toledo at Alcalá de Henares. Two parents, King Ferdinand II of Aragon and Queen Isabella I of Castile. Her mother was a strong and formidable woman, and she is often regarded as the first Queen of Spain, as her marriage to Ferdinand pretty much united the whole of Spain. And her land was also a lot bigger than the teeny-tiny Aragon. Isabella also gave birth to her youngest child while she was in the midst of a war. This strength and resilience would be passed on to her daughter Catalina, who had been educated for a role of queenship from the age of 2, and would instill the same attitude and qualities in her own daughter, Mary. Catalina loved and respected her mother, and it is said that she took after her mother the most out of all of her siblings, in both looks and character. A relationship that I think it's fair to say that she did not share with her father, and one that she, I'm sure, would have loved to have fostered with her own daughter Mary had they been able to spend more time together. A few days later after her birth, Catalina was baptised by the Bishop of Palencia, wearing a traditional christening gown of white brocade that featured a gold lace trim and was lined with velvet. From the age of 2, her father and the King of England, Henry VII, were negotiating a marriage between Catalina and Henry's heir, Arthur Tudor, who was around the same age as Catalina. These talks continued and several proxy weddings took place before finally in 1501, when Catalina was 15, she was deemed old enough to travel to England to finally make the marriage legit. I'm not saying that proxy marriages weren't seen as legitimate, because they were, but you get what I mean. Catalina left Alhambra Palace in Granada on the 21st of May 1501. From here she travelled to the northern coast of Spain to set sail for England. Now, I know what you're thinking, but Hannah, this day in history is set in September, and chronologically you're only in May. Well, the thing is, when she set sail on this day in 1501, this was actually her second attempt to come to England. Her first attempt was on the 17th of August 1501, but unfortunately a storm was brewing in the Bay of Biscay. Catalina was very seasick, and the ship's captain was forced to return to Spain. They would then wait it out until it was safe to try again. Catalina later wrote to her mother Isabella to say it was impossible not to be terrified of the storm. When she did finally set sail in September, Catalina, who I will now refer to as Catherine, arrived at Plymouth on the 2nd of October 1501. It was reported that the townsfolk in Plymouth were cheering and giving their new princess and future queen a warm welcome, with banners in the street. Signor Alcaraz, I know I've said that wrong, wrote to Queen Isabella that Catherine could not have been received with greater joy if she had been the saviour of the world. Catherine then took part in a feast at Plymouth to commemorate her arrival. She then heard Mass and gave thanks. A messenger then hurried to inform King Henry VII of her arrival. Catherine and Arthur Tudor would wed at St. Paul's Cathedral on the 14th of November that year. The wedding banquet took place at Baynard's Castle. Just before Christmas, on the 21st of December, the new Prince and Princess of Wales left Baynard's Castle for the Welsh marshes and headed to Ludlow Castle. It would be here at Ludlow that Arthur would catch an illness and die on the 2nd of April 1502. Had Arthur survived, Catherine's life could have been very different. Check out my video on what happened if Arthur Tudor survived over here. Years later, Catherine would remarry to Arthur's younger brother, King Henry VIII, and together they would have one surviving child, a daughter, Mary. And from here, Catherine would go down in history as the first wife of 6, the one who he divorced. And that's where I'm going to leave today's video. If you enjoyed this video, then please make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you really enjoyed this video, then why not leave a super thanks. But until the next one, guys, have a wonderful day. Bye!